In this video, we're going to learn how to multiply matrices. By the end of this video, you should be able to know the rule and the formula and how to work through an example without getting lost. In this example, we're going to have two matrices, and each matrix is going to be a 2 by 2, meaning that it has 2 rows and 2 columns for each matrix. When we look at a matrix, we're looking at the rows then by the columns. So since we have 2 rows and 2 columns, we'll be able to write them like this. Now the rule for multiplying these requires us to take a look at confirming that the inside numbers, meaning the column on our first matrix and the row on our second matrix, are the same value, which is going to be 2. This corresponds with the 2 rows and the 2 columns, meaning the outside numbers, to tell us that we're going to produce a 2 by 2 matrix. When dealing with multiplication, we always multiply the row by the column, the same as how we denote how to look at a matrix. So what this is going to mean is that we will look at the first row and the first column to produce a single number in this cell. What that will mean is that we take a look at 0 times negative 6 plus 5 times 0. We will then move on to the next column, but the same row, to look at this cell. So now we will have 0 times 5 plus 5 times 2. With that information for that first row, we can now take a look at the second row of our finalized matrix. So we'll look at this row, and then we'll start with this column. We'll have negative 3 times negative 6 plus 4 times 0. The next cell is going to be the same row, negative 3, but now this column, which is going to be 5 plus 4 times 2. We will then multiply and add each one of the cells to get a single number. With that, we'll have 0 times negative 6 plus 5 times 0, which is going to give us 0. Then we'll have 0 plus 10, so we'll have 10. Then we'll have 18 plus 0, and then we'll have negative 15 plus 8. So we'll have 18 here, and then we'll put negative 7 right here. And then this will be our final answer for that matrix. With this next example, we're going to have a 1 by 3 matrix that we're going to multiply by a 3 by 1 matrix, meaning that this has 1 row and 3 columns, and this has 3 rows and 1 column. We have to make sure that the inner 2 numbers are the same. If they're the same, that means that we can multiply this. And the corresponding dimensions, or the amount of rows and columns, are they're going to correspond to what we see here for the row and the column. So for this one, we're going to have a 1 by 1 matrix. And we can see this because we multiply by the row of the first one and the column of the second matrix. So what we're going to get is 6 times 1 plus 4 times 3 plus 2 times 5. Multiplying this out, we'll get 6 plus 12 plus 10. And then simplifying by adding will give us a 1 by 1 matrix of 28. In this example, next, we're going to be multiplying a 2 by 3 by a 3 by 1 matrix. And we'll notice that this is going to produce a 2 by 2 matrix at the end. We know that we have 2 rows for this and 3 columns. And for this one, we have 3 rows and 2 columns. So with this information, we will take a look at the inside numbers to tell us that since they are the same, we can multiply this out. And the corresponding matrix that when we multiply will end up being a 2 by 2 matrix. Now multiplying this out, we always start with the top row and the first column, and we will multiply 6 times 0 plus 4 times 5 plus 3 times negative 1. And then for the next cell, we still stay in the same row, but we go to the second column. So we'll have 6 times negative 6, then 4 times 2 plus 3 times 3. Now what we'll do is we'll go on to the second row and we'll start again with the first column. So we'll have 7 times 0 plus 1 times 5 plus negative 1 times negative 1. Then the same row, that second row with the second column, we'll get 7 times negative 6 plus 1 times 2 plus negative 1 times 3. Multiplying each one of these cells out is going to give us the following of 0 plus 20 minus 3 for that first cell. Then negative 36 plus 8 plus 9 for the second cell. Then 0 plus 5 plus 1. Then negative 42 plus 2 minus 3. Adding this up is going to give us a final answer of 17, negative 19, 6, and negative 43.